This is One Touch Football.
Rashid Yuseef, AFC Wimbledon, midfield, One Touch Footy.
One Touch Footy again, and we're joined by Rashid Yuseef, aka Tux. So why Tux? Please explain.
Well, Tux is my middle name, so it's Rashid Tux Yuseef.
Lovely. I thought it was something a bit more jazzy. All right. So where did it all start for you with your football career?
Well, it started at Simrab when I was young. My sister said, "Oh, you're not doing nothing around the house. You might as well go play for your local team." And Simrab's a big East London Sunday League team, and I enjoyed it ever since then. Training on Saturday, playing on Sunday was just a great feeling. I'll do anything to have one of them days back again. It's been a young footballer.
So I've heard a lot about Simrab. What sort of players have been down there?
Simrab's produced a lot of great players that are playing in the Prem and made a big career for themselves, like John Terry, Ledley King, Dominic Green, shout him out. Loads of players. It's still going to this day. And a couple of weeks ago we did a little function where I gave a shirt down to the local Simrab to raffle off for their under-7 Sunday League team.
Okay, wicked. So after Simrab, how did your career progress from there? Where did it go?
Simrab I got seen, and I went to Charlton and had a trial at Charlton and did most of my youth development in Charlton, and I loved it. Still love Charlton to this day. Still go and watch the games. It was a great place because then they were in the Premiership, and then we learned off a lot of great players playing in the Prem at that time.
There's a lot of senior players down there when you were down there. You was only 19. So what did you learn from the likes of, Matty Holland and so forth?
Just their work ethic, really, like how hard they trained, and when they played on a Saturday against the teams like Arsenal and United, and how they competed with them and got good results on certain Saturdays.
So explain sort of a day in the life. A lot of people, they know a professional footballer. He goes out, does a bit of training and goes home. But explain sort of the day in the life from the morning to the evening. What does it involve?
Well, and like footballer, you've got to be sacrificed to getting up early, going to train each and every day, enjoying the training, getting home, eating the right stuff, relaxing. Rest is key because most footballers just sleep when they get back, so they can go again on the Tuesday, or if they got a game on the Saturday, prepare right on the Friday night.
So what did you do in your spare time after training? What was your favourite thing to do, even to this day?
Probably play video games, probably play FIFA to this day. That's what most players do, FIFA or Twitter, but I'm just a FIFA guy.
Yeah. All right, so after Charlton, you went on to Gillingham. You didn't probably get as much playing time as you would have liked down there. How does that affect a pro in terms of confidence?
Well, it's a big factor because most players, all they want to do is play. Like, that's the main key of being a footballer, playing them games in front of them crowds, performing at a high level. And at Gillingham, I just weren't doing that. I was just training, and training's not the same at games. You can train at a high intensity, but it's not the same thing.
So how do you pick yourself up from that?
Just keep going, just learn off the older players and how they keep going when things ain't going for them. And luckily I had a good break and going to Wimbledon and enjoyed that move ever since, and I'm playing and enjoying my football.
So Wimbledon was probably one of the biggest non-league clubs at the time. You're playing conference football when you started there. How do you find the difference between playing in the leagues and playing at AFC Wimbledon?
Well, in the conference you hardly get any time on the ball, to be honest, but conference is more relaxed. Like, the team spirit is more, you can see it more, it's more than league teams. Say, like, when we was in the conference, our buzz around the place was more so than it is now, probably you could say. But we did well when we got promoted to the league, and that was a big achievement for us.
Okay. And another thing, obviously the fans, you've got a massive fan base. How do you feel the fans have taken to you guys getting promoted and going up? How have they responded to that?
The fans are great down at Wimbledon. They love young players and they love players that work hard. And to be honest, we're not going through a great spell at the moment, but the fans are keeping us alive and keep making sure we go out each Saturday and work hard for them.
All right, so lastly, you've come sort of up and down the leagues. What's your most important or crucial piece of advice for a young player who, he's got released from maybe a top club? What's your most important piece of advice?
most advice I give is just work hard, because even though if you ain't got that ability, if they let you go because you didn't have that ability, your work ethic is the main thing. Like, so if you work harder than a player that has that ability, the person that works hard will always win at the end of the day.
Lovely. That's been Rashid Yuseef, and that's One Touch.
This is One Touch Football.